state championship, which they achieved on February the 6th. Now, just to show you how they stay with it, it was their first title since 2017, and I know that we're beginning another string, a tradition. We have Anthony Oubre, who won in the 132-pound category, Matthew Crail, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm looking at somebody else's handwriting, 144 pounds, Robert Morse, 150, and Kylie Reeves, 175. State runner-up included Michael Klein at the 138-pound category. That program at Holy Cross was started by Brother Melchion Palawi, and that's not right, Melchior Palawi, and they've celebrated again 29 state wrestling titles. Congratulations, coaches, and congratulations, players. Congratulations to Holy Cross in general. I'll see you on Saturday at the Family Day. I know that people will be recognizing you there too, but I'm so pleased that you are representing District D, the Gentilly community, so well, and that your students and your administrators do so much for our city. So, Athletic Director.
Thank you, Councilmember Green. On behalf of our president, Justin Fleetwood, and our principal, Brad Humphreys, we want to thank you for recognizing these young men here today. You know, it takes a lot to win a state championship, more than just talent. It takes hard work, dedication, sacrifice, and these guys put that on display every single day, and I couldn't be more impressed with them and with our coaching staff. And it's an honor for me today to introduce our first-year head coach, Mr. Grant Hughes.
Oh, well, first and foremost, just to God be the glory, and this is such a privilege for us to come here and have the chance to speak on our efforts this season and using wrestling as a vehicle to instill strength in young men. It has been a complete team effort, school effort, administrative effort, just to champion these men and build our standard of success. And again, just what a privilege it is to be here. We were fortunate to find success at the right time at the state championship, but we're more pleased about how we competed, the fact that they did it from one another, and we're just eager to, again, share this morning with you and speak on a few of those things.
Congratulations. Young men, would you like to say anything? You're welcome. I'm not putting you on the spot, but if you want to say anything.
I'm happy to see all the work that we put in pay off. We have all of our guys, every single guy from the lineup, from the top to the bottom, putting in so much work. And just as a team collectively, like, we earned it. And I'm glad to see that we got the outcome that we were searching for.
Congratulations.
Yeah, what they said, all glory to God. Team worked hard. It was a collective effort. It was not only an individual effort, but this team did what we needed to do, and we really weren't surprised.
You have the right spirit. Congratulations to all of y'all. So now, first year, what you gonna do next year now? Win it again. Congratulations to you.
Thank you again, and we have great enthusiasm for our guys returning. We recognize that we have a core group of upperclassmen, seniors, who not only just contributed to our points at the state tournament, but to our culture. And frankly, we have opportunities for more people to step in. Guys we know are investing in the program, doing it the right way. The standard has now been set, moreover, with our fight, with our grit, with our will to win. We expect to be competitive, but as long as those ingredients are there with doing it for each other, putting it God first, that will be a positive mark for us on our season.
Absolutely. To the three young men who came in, the players, just tell us your name really fast and what weight category you in.
I'm Riley Reeves. I wrestled at 175.
I'm Matthew Crail. I wrestle 144.
You can share your name and your weight.
Your name and your weight category.
I'm Robert Morse, and I wrestled at 150 pounds.
Congratulations to you all. Councilmember Jason Hughes has joined me. He represents District E, which is on the border of District D, so he's pleased to celebrate with us all.
Thank you, Councilmember. Good morning. Just want to say congratulations, and I just love to hear how you all give glory and honor to the Lord. Keep the Lord first in everything you do, and more championships for you all and greater successes on the horizon. Congratulations.
We have proclamations for each of you all and for the team, which says, thank you for your contributions and success in enhancing the quality of life for the residents of our great city And in this case, congratulations on finishing as state champion at the Louisiana High School Athletic Association Division I level state wrestling championship, and it mentions your individual weight category. So close us out, Mr. AD Director. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Couldn't be more proud of these young men and the efforts that they put forth every day. Want to thank you all once again for recognizing their efforts. We couldn't be more appreciative. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and keep up the good work. Come on, let's take a photo up front. We're going to take this one. Wait, what do you want to do? Where they are now? You can stay where you are now. Just stand up there.
Councilmember Hughes on the right, Councilman Green on the left. Thank you. Everyone take a half step this way. Thank you.
James, should we start? Where's JP? Is he here?
Picture.
We are going to get started.
Roll call. Council President Morrell.
Here.
Vice President Willard. Councilmember McCarron. Here. Councilmember Harris. Councilmember King. Councilmember Green.
Here.
Councilmember Hughes.
Here.
We have 7 members. We have a quorum.
Thank you. First up, we have the invocation by Pastor Jonathan Everett.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity for us to gather as a people and gather as a city. Now, Father, grant us wisdom, unity, and clarity in all of our discussions and planning. Allow us, Father, some way, somehow, find the intersections to make our city better, to make our communities better, to make, Father, each person better. Allow us to regain our pride, that we can stand and say we are excited to be New Orleanians. Bless this council, Father, this infrastructure as they continue to lead us forward. Bless them, Father, as they continue to bind together with their hearts, but most importantly with compassion. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Next, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Harris and some special guests.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, play ball.
Wait. We have approval of the minutes for the meeting of February 4th, 2026 special, February 11th, 2026 special, February 12th, 2026, and February 26th, 26.
Moved by Green.
We have consent agenda. We have a communication from Aaron Spears. This may be received. We have a communication from Cynthia Davis, 25-28647, demo 1411 Elysian Fields Avenue, Council District C. This may be received here in date 3/26/26. We have a communication from Amy Beecher Pena. This may be received. We have a communication from Carrie Cotney. This may be received and referred to the Budget Committee. We have a communication from Darren P. Lombard. This may be received. We have a report of Lisa Alexis. This may be received. We have a report of Alicia Rumble. This may be received. Rambo. This may be received. We have a report of Brian D. Block. This may be received, 601 Bourbon Street. We have a report of Lene Crowley. This may be received. We have a report of Jennifer Avegno. This may be received. We have a report of Robert D. Rivers. This may be received. Hearing date 3/26/26. We have ordinance calendar 35,332 by Councilmember Morrell, referred to the Governmental Affairs Committee. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,334 by Councilmember Green, 2037 North Broad Street, zoning docket 6325. We have ordinance calendar 35,335 by Councilmember Harris, 323 through 343 Jane Alley, zoning docket 6425. We have ordinance calendar 35,338 by Councilmember McCarron, zoning docket 4925. We have ordinance calendar 35,341 by Councilmember King by request. Criminal Justice Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26-108 by Councilmembers King, Harris, and Green by request. Criminal Justice Committee recommended approval. This is all matters on consent.
Thank you. I don't have any cards for anyone on consent. Is there anyone in the audience with any comment on any of the items on consent? All right. I'll move adoption. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Hughes. Please vote your machines. Is no one missing? No, sorry. 6 yeas, no nays.
At the top of page 9, regular agenda item 1, we have a legislative grouping, communication from Darren P. Lombard, Clerk of Criminal Court, District Court, Chief of Elections Officer, submitting in collaboration with Councilmember Harris the polling locations recommended to the City Council and an explanation of why the library will no longer be able to serve as an Election Day polling site. We have motion M26-111 by Councilmember Harris, establishing the official polling place for May 16, 2026, election for the precinct for the City of New Orleans, Parish of Orleans.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Milton H. Ladder Memorial Library is no longer equipped to serve as an Election Day polling site for Ward 13, Precinct A. This motion establishes a new polling place location at Sophie B. Wright Charter School for the May 16, 2026 election. No public comment. I will move. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. 6 yeas. Thank you.
At the top of page 10, we have item 3, legislative grouping with resolution R26-9 and resolution R26-10 has been deferred to the meeting of March 26th. On page 11, item 6, legislative grouping along with resolution line over 2611 and resolution line over 2612 has been deferred to March 26th. At the top of page 12, we have item 9, legislative grouping HDLC appeal of Richard Cartiza, Jones Walker on behalf of Peter A. Wilson and Rosalind Wilson, requesting to appeal the Historic District Landmarks decision of denial of the demolition application for property located at 1208 2nd Street. We have motion M26-101 by Councilmember Harris, overruling the HDLC's decision of denial and granting the applicant's request for the property located at 1208 2nd Street.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. HDLC, will you give us your report?
Yes, thank you. 1208 2nd Street was constructed between 1910 and 1927 within the period of significance for the Garden District. While not shown on the 1909 Sanborn map, it was listed for sale in the 1927 in the Times-Picayune. The 2002 HDLC survey of the district shows the structure much as it appears today and notes it as contributing to the scene. It is one of 5 structures facing 2nd Street in a fully intact block and retains its original massing. Overall, the building appears to be in very good condition, showing minimal signs of neglect. Rehabilitation of the interior of the building would not be very costly or particularly difficult, as the underlying structure is intact. Immediate action should be taken to remove any overgrown vegetation directly on or near the building. While modified on the interior, the building is not a good candidate for demolition. At their meeting of February 4th, 2026, commissioners reviewed the staff report, photos of the interior and exterior, and a presentation by architectural historian Gabrielle Begay regarding the remaining architectural significance and integrity of the structure. The Garden District Association representatives stated that they supported the demolition. Due to the building's contributing rating and structural condition, The Commission voted unanimously to deny the demolition.
Thank you. I rarely overturn HDLC, but in this case I am. 1208 Second Street is a single-family residence constructed in the early to mid-1920s that the applicants wish to demolish to provide additional garden space for the residents next door. The large front porch, which once featured the majority of the residents' Craftsman and Colonial Revival style features, was enclosed and remodeled in the 2000s. In 2017, a large contemporary style three-story wood frame addition was constructed to the rear of the bungalow. Both of these are significant exterior alterations visible from 2nd Street. A fire in December 2017 caused extensive damage to the interior of the property, particularly on the first floor, and the interiors of both floors were extensively remodeled in 2018. These alterations included the removal of walls between the living room, dining room, and kitchen, vaulting of the living room and office ceilings, construction of a small attic loft and skylight overlooking the living room, removal of the living room fireplace, installation of incompatible wood boards and oversized crown moldings at the ceilings, exposed ceiling joists in the den, removal of identifying features in the book nook, removal and/or relocation of door casings, infill of windows in the former front facade wall, removal of plaster from the walls and ceilings, and removal and/or replacement of baseboards. While the HDLC notes this property as contributing to the scene, the applicant's historic consultant prepared an historic preservation evaluation noting that due to the extent and cumulative effect of these exterior and interior alterations, 1208 2nd Street does not possess architectural integrity and no longer contributes to the historic residential streetscape. Additionally, this application received overwhelming support from the surrounding residential community. Considering the conflicting reports and the overwhelming neighborhood support, I'm moving to grant the application's demo request. I do have several cards. Do you really want to speak on this?
No,
Okay.
no, we support the,
Okay, so let me
we
just...
appreciate your support.
Again, I rarely overturn HGLC. If you want to speak, you can. John Rareshad is in support. Richard Cortez is in support. C. Jordan Smith in support. Jeffrey Good in support. Peter Wilson in support, and Gabrielle Begg in support. Do any of you people want to speak? As a good judge told me, if you're winning, sit down, Mr. Cortez.
I just wanted to say thank you, Councilmember Harris, for your thoughtful consideration of this appeal.
Thank you, and thank you to my staff. Any online comments?
There's one online
You
comment.
can go ahead and read it.
This is from Jim Ashby. He says, I urge you to deny the demolition of this original home in the Garden District. This demolition would set a dangerous precedent if one contributing historic home can be removed. It opens the door for others to follow. Over time, those decisions could slowly erode the very character that makes the Garden District so special and worthy of protection. These protections exist for a reason, and that is to ensure that short-term interests do not permanently damage irreplaceable homes. I respectfully ask you to protect the integrity of the Garden District and deny this demolition request. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. I've moved. Councilmember McCarron has seconded. All in favor, please vote your machines. 7 yeas. Thank you.
Council members, before we move forward, I'm sorry, I have a report on the suspension that I need to add to the regular agenda real quick. I have a report of Michelle Allen Hart. This may be received. I just need a vote to add it to the agenda. One more. One more vote. Thank you. We have a VCC appeal of Christina Turner. This is deferred to the meeting of 3/26. At the top of page 13, we have item 12, legislative group and zoning docket 326, 3201 Orleans Avenue LLC, requesting an amendment of ordinance number 27,971, MCS zoning docket 12618, to permit an expansion of a neighborhood commercial establishment in the HURD2 Historic Urban Two-Family Residential District. The expansion requires waivers of standard limiting the neighborhood commercial establishment to 3,000 square feet into the first floor of the structure on square 445 lots D and E in the second municipal district bounded by Orleans Avenue, North Rendon Street, Hagan Street, and St. Anne Street. Municipal address 3201 Orleans Avenue. The recommendation of CPC being for approval, subject to 2 waivers and 9 provisos. We have motion M26-100 by Councilmember McCarron, granting the applicant's request for zoning docket 326, subject to 2 waivers and 9 provisos.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC?
Good morning, council members. This is a request for conditional use to permit the expansion of an existing bakery structure that's located in an HURD2 district. The applicant has constructed a camelback addition onto the existing structure, which adds a second floor office space of approximately 900 square feet, which increased the total floor area beyond the 3,000 square foot limit, which is normally allowed for neighborhood commercial establishment. So because of that expansion, the permitted floor area, because of the expansion and the added floor, which is not allowed by the use standards for neighborhood commercial establishment, the applicant is requesting a waiver of those 2 standards as part of this conditional use. During the Planning Commission hearing, the discussion centered around the fact that as an alternative, the applicant could have asked for zoning change to operate the proposed use without needing any waivers. However, this would have technically opened the door to a larger variety of commercial uses than what the proposed conditional uses will allow. And for that reason, the Commission felt that it was justified to grant those 2 waivers and grant the conditional use.
Thank you. Members, this is an after-the-fact request to amend the existing conditional use. Some of the work was permitted, but overall expansion was not pre-approved. This process is essentially remediating the expansion. The HDLC did sign off on the camelback, and several nearby neighbors have written in support of this project. Nolita Bakery and Crescent City Living remain on the ground floor, while Friends of Bayou occupy the camelback. I do want to note that I have requested safety and permits consider a fine for going beyond the scope of the original permit as part of the remediation effort. Are there any online comments? Okay, perfect. So with that, I move to approve motion number M26-100, seconded by Councilmember Hughes. All in favor? Thank you.
At the top of page 14, we have item 14, legislative group and zoning docket 726, City Council motion M25-567, requesting a text amendment to the comprehensive zoning ordinance to define dwelling shipping containers as a dwelling constructed wholly or partially from one or more repurposed shipping containers. Prescribed use standards for shipping container dwellings, including but not limited to the following. In an SRS suburban single-family residential district, shipping container dwellings shall be subject to the following requirements. The exterior wall of such structure shall be clad in permitted building materials, including but not limited to wood, siding, stucco, brick, fiber, cement panels, corrugated metal panels, and cladding shall fully obstruct the seams, corrugations, markings, and original metal surface of the shipping container from view. Roof structures that originate from the container unit shall be obscured or concealed by any additional roof structure, such as pitched or corporate roof, so as not to be visibly identified as a container. Adding shipping container dwellings as a permitted or conditional use to zoning district use tables as appropriate. The proposed text amendment would affect regulations that are applied in an SRS suburban single-family residential district. The recommendation of the CPC being for denial. We have motion line over M2681 by Councilmember King, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 726.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC, the floor is yours.
Yes, this motion essentially is intended to regulate the use of repurposed shipping containers as residential dwellings to ensure compatibility with the character and integrity of residential neighborhoods. The proposed standards are meant to obscure their industrial appearance and integrate them into residential streetscapes, more specifically in single-family residential districts, which are characterized by a more uniform lotting pattern than other zoning districts. The suggested language for the use standards focuses on an aesthetic outcome. The recommendation from the City Planning Commission is that the zoning ordinance should not make a use distinction for specific building materials, since the use as a single-family residence is the same, and that building material concerns would be better addressed by the building code rather than the zoning ordinance. There was no speaker in opposition or support of the proposal at the Planning Commission public hearing, and the Commission voted to deny the proposed text amendment.
Thank you. Our office has received a number of complaints from residents regarding the development of certain shipping container homes whose bare bones exterior clash with the character of the communities in which they are built. Our motion will not prevent further development of shipping container homes. Rather, this amendment will require additional exterior wall cladding and roof structure to any new shipping container homes in the SRS Suburban Single Family Residential District so as to conceal the original shell of the shipping container. This is to ensure that some effort is made by developers to bring these homes into harmony with the architectural character of the surrounding neighborhood. This will move adoption. I'm sorry, we have a comment by Councilmember Green.
Councilman King, I just wanted to say that I appreciate the time and attention that you've given to this, what is almost a compromise, because honestly, based on my experience in Pontchartrain Park and in the Ninth Ward, I'm kind of opposed to using them because it's an experiment, and if people have put hundreds of thousands of dollars into their houses and they have lived in neighborhoods forever, I don't think that shipping containers, the way they look, even as we dress them up, should be part of that equation. However, the main thing is that I appreciate your legislation, your concern for the residents of single-family suburban residential districts, and I support that, and thank you.
Thank you. Any online comments? Okay, no. Second by Councilmember Hughes. 6 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
At the top of page 15, we have item 16, Legislative Group and Zoning Docket 926, Grace 9999 LLC, requesting a conditional use to permit a standard restaurant in the HUB1 Historic Urban Neighborhood Business District, CPC Character Preservation Corridor Design Overlay District, in the Magazine Street Use Restriction Overlay District, on Square 217, Lot D, in the 6th Municipal District, bounded by Magazine Street, Louisiana Avenue, Camp Street, and Taladana Street. Municipal address 3329 Magazine Street. The recommendation of CPC being for approval subject to 3 provisos. We have motion M26-102 by Councilmember Harris, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 926 subject to 3 provisos.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC, will you brief us on your report?
Yes, this is a request that was originally approved in 2021 under another zoning docket, but that approval expired. The site is located near the intersection of Magazine Street and Louisiana Avenue and is developed with a commercial building where the applicant proposes to operate a standard restaurant. This portion of Magazine Street has always been a commercial corridor surrounded by residential uses, so it is not likely that a standard restaurant would result in any negative impact for the surrounding residents, especially given the use standards imposed on standard restaurant and the provisos recommended by the staff. The City Planning Commission recommended approval, subject to 3 provisos. There was no opposition at the Planning Commission hearing.
Thank you. With that, I will move to adopt. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. 7 yeas. Thank you.
At the bottom of the page, item 18, Legislative Group and Zoning Docket 1326, PJS Investments LLC, requesting a conditional use to permit a neighborhood commercial establishment in an HU RD2 Historic Urban 2-Family Residential District on Square 506, Lot 13 and 14 in the 1st Municipal District, bounded by Rattle Street, South Gayoso Street, South Saucedo Street, and Thalia Street. Municipal address 4200 Rattle Street. The recommendation of CPC being for approval subject to 3 provisos. We have motion M26-103 by Councilmember Harris, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 1326 subject to 3 provisos.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC, will you brief us on your report?
Yes, this is a side corner, it's a corner lot at the intersection of Erato Street and South Gayoso Street. The lot is developed with a mix of residential units and a commercial space. The existing commercial structure once functioned as a candy store as early as of May 2023, but due to a fire in the adjoining residence, the business was forced to close. The applicant proposes to reestablish the commercial portion of the mixed-use structure with the former candy store. There's no exterior building changes proposed. So the Planning Commission thinks this will bring will bring back a vacant portion of the site into commerce, and it meets all applicable standards. Therefore, the recommendation is for approval as well, subject to 3 provisos.
Thank you. This neighborhood commercial establishment classification permits the reactivation of a historic commercial space with low-intensity commercial uses being sensitive to surrounding residential uses. The subject site is formerly operated as a candy store, but it has been vacant since a fire damaged the adjoining residential unit. This building will maintain its historic footprint, and the applicant proposes to continue its operation as Candy Grapes, retailing specialty snacks and refreshments. This proposal receives support without any opposition at both the MPP meeting and the CPC hearing. I will move to adopt. Seconded by Councilmember Hughes. 6 yeas. Thank you.
At the top of page 16, we have legislative group and ordinance calendar 34,385, along with motions lying over M23-426 and M23-427 has been deferred to the meeting of March 26th. At the top of page 17, we have ordinance calendar 35,117 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Ordinance calendar 35,127 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. We have motion lying over M25-182 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 18, we have item 26, motion line over M25-183 has been deferred to 326. Motion line over M25-184 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M25-186 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 19, we have motion line over M25-187 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M25-189 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M25-235 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 20, motion line over M25-236 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M25-238 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M25-239 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 21, we have motion line over M25-288 is deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M25-435 is deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over 2638 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 22, we have motion line over M2639 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M2640 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M2641 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 23, we have motion line over M2644 is deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M2682 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. Motion line over M2683 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. At the top of page 24, we have motion line over M2684 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. We have motion M2699 has been deferred to the meeting of 326. We have motion M26104 by Councilmember Harris is being withdrawn, and there's a substitute motion to this matter. We have substitute motion M26104, directing the City Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider a text amendment to ordinance number MCS 4264, amended by ordinance number 26,413 MCS as amended, the comprehensive zoning ordinance of the City of New Orleans to amend Article 25.7.8 to add the existing billboard located at 100 Porter Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70130 to the list of receiving locations for electronic conversions and to make recommendations for any other amendments deemed necessary. We need a vote to receive.
I move. Councilmember King has seconded. Six yeas.
We need the vote to add.
I'll move. Councilmember Hughes has seconded. Thank you. This motion directs CPC to consider a text amendment that will permit the conversion of an existing static billboard on the Hilton Garage to an electronic billboard in exchange for conversion of an existing electronic billboard in Mid-City to a static billboard. This exchange is in response to residents' request to remove the Mid-City electronic billboard and Outfront's Good Neighbor Cooperation. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, I'll move. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. 6 yeas. Thank you.
At the top of page 25, item 47, we have motion M26-105 by Councilmember King, directing the City Planning Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider amendments to the comprehensive zoning ordinance number 4264 MCS as amended by ordinance number 26,413 MCS and subsequent amendments, to add a new section 21.6.JJ to Article 21 and a new definition to the Article 26 to permit park concession facilities as accessory use only in the VCP or the OSR district, subject to specific standards.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have a comment call from Ms. Patricia Walton.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Patricia Walton, 1738 Tepsico Street, 70113, the daughter of Professor Longhair. I come before you this morning. I'm not familiar with these meetings, but several of you up there know me. One of the problems I've had, I went through some notes. I've been dealing with raw sewer backing up in my home since 2014 due to plumbing and no permit issued back then, May of 2014. As I said, many of you up there know me already. I paid nothing but plumbers from 14 up to this day. Raw sewer, can you imagine? And then the water mains bust. Surgeon Water Board turns my water off yesterday for a bogus, supposedly bill. I have a double. 1738, I have the video, only have one water meter, always have since my father purchased this house. 1740, I'm being billed, I just left Surgeon Water Board for $6,000 when there's no water meter there. I have a problem with that. I'm sick, I'm 68 years old, and if I seem overbearing, I'm sorry, but this is like another preview of at that convention center for Katrina. I've had enough. I've been coming down here every year, every month. I can never see nobody in the councilman office. They send somebody from another district. I'm asking you all to please, all with the exception of you, Leslie Harris, I have nothing but emails to your office. Just as long as this has been going on, you and Matthews. You've done nothing.
Thank you, Miss Walton. No, I understand. Ms. Walton, we have to, Ms. Walton, we have to continue. But listen, we'll do this. Maybe Councilman Harris or our sewage and water board council member representative, Mr. Hughes, might want to come talk to you on the side. All right. Make a motion to adopt. Second, Councilman Harris. 6 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
Item 47, we have motion M26-106 by Councilmember Morrell, stating that the City Council appoints Council Vice President, Councilmember at Large, Division 1, Matthew Willard, as its delegate to the Police Jury Association of Louisiana.
It is pretty self-explanatory. I will move. Can I get a second? Second by Councilman Hughes. Please vote your machines. That is 6 yeas, no nays.
At the bottom of the page, item 49, resolution R26-107 by Councilmember Hughes, a resolution calling an election in the Lake Forest Estates Improvement District for June 27, 2026.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This does just that. This is a renewal. I'll move adoption. Second by Councilmember McCarron. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. Motion's adopted.
At the top of page 26, item 50, we have resolution R 26-109 by council members McCarron, Morrell, Willard, Harrison, Green. A resolution in order regarding direct transfer trip requirements for community solar projects. Docket number UD 1803. The Climate Change and Sustainability Committee recommended approval.
Go ahead, Ethan.
Members, this is a resolution that we discussed yesterday at Climate Committee. There's any questions? Great, I move to approve. Seconded by Councilmember Hughes. Vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
Item 51, we have resolution R 26-110 by Councilmember Hughes. A resolution calling an election in the Kenilworth Improvement District for November 3rd, 2026.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Once again, this does just that. This is once again a renewal. With that, I move adoption. Second by Councilmember McCarron. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. Motion's adopted. Thank you.
At the bottom of the page, item 52, we have motion M 26-112 by Councilmember McCarron by request, adding the President of Council as a signatory to the contract between the City of New Orleans and Corteva Agriscience LLC, and authorizing the President of Council to sign a contract between the City of New Orleans and Corteva Agriscience LLC, Exhibit A. We need to suspend Rule 57 on this matter.
Seconded by Councilmember King. Vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays.
All right, you could discuss it and vote.
Okay, perfect. Members, this contract per council rules, contracts over 1 year must go through council committee. This contract has been circulated to council offices, but due to timing issues could not make it on an immediate committee agenda. Therefore, we had to suspend Rule 57. This contract is for 5 years with an Indiana company called Corteva. This does not require any city money. It is revenue generating, roughly $40,000 per year. This contract allows us to share data that is already being collected by the Mosquito, Termite, and Rodent Control Board. I have someone here if anybody has any questions. If not, then I'll move to approve. Seconded by Councilmember King. All those in favor, vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
We have motion under suspension R 26-113 by council members Morrell, McCarron, Harris, King, Green, and Hughes. A resolution encouraging the state legislature to reexamine the annual funding percentage allocated to the Orleans Parish Assessor's Office for the collection of ad valorem taxes levied on properties and consider a more equitable distribution for all entities. We need the vote to receive.
I'll move. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember King. Please vote your machines. 5 yeas. This is the one. 6 yeas, no nays.
We need a vote to add.
I just want to be on the record as saying aye.
I'll move. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Hughes. Please vote your machines. Missing one. All right, 6 yeas, no nays. All right. Now we can discuss, correct, Madam
Yes.
Clerk? All right, so essentially, as we face our ongoing fiscal crisis and we look at where we can find change under the, in the couch cushions, we, working with a variety of parties, we uncovered that the assessor currently gets a 2% fee, according to the legislature, of all collections that are done on his behalf. Currently, the assessor is sitting on a approximately $36 million surplus. And as such, we are asking the legislature to reevaluate the necessity of this 2% fee, whether or not the fee should be reduced or eliminated, and how we can perhaps recapture some of the monies. This would also apply to all other entities that are paying this 2% fee. So it's just a way for us to ask the legislature to look at the possibility of adjusting this fee so that we can recover more of our money to pay all the bills that we have stockpiling up. I don't see any public comment. I'll move for adoption. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Karen. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. The matter is adopted.
We have resolution under suspension R-26-114 by Councilmember Hughes. A resolution requesting the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans to provide monthly operational and compliance updates to the Public Works, Sanitation, and Environment Committee of the New Orleans City Council and establish a standing agenda item to ensure transparency regarding system performance, environmental compliance, and infrastructure improvements. We need a vote to receive.
Moved by me, second by Councilmember McCarron. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays.
We need a vote to add.
Moved by me, second by Councilmember McCarron. All in favor? Second by Councilmember King. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. We can discuss.
I think you just,
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Members, as you all know, Sewage and Water Board, there's been so many issues that have bubbled up, been in the news a lot lately. We have a lot of challenges that we need to address. The Public Works Committee, which I have the honor of chairing, has been meeting regularly. Unfortunately, the City Council does not have direct authority over the Sewage and Water Board. We cannot mandate that they show up, but we do want to go on record, this council strongly requesting that Sewage and Water Board appear at every single Public Works Committee meeting moving forward. We do have legislation moving in Baton Rouge to hopefully give the council more direct authority, but until we have that, that is the purpose of this resolution. With that, I would move adoption.
You comment?
Second by Councilmember McCarron, and we do have several comments. Council President Morrell is recognized.
Thank you, Councilmember Hughes. Just to be clear, and I want to make sure the public knows this, the reason why Councilmember Hughes has to do this resolution is because though many people believe that the New Orleans City Council has direct oversight and control of the Louisiana Sewage and Water Board, it's the New Orleans Sewage and Water Board, but it's created in Louisiana law, we do not have direct control or authority over it. As such, even though every council member up here gets all of the calls whenever you see a line break or anything happen, we do not actually have the authority to make them do anything. The only authority that we have been granted thus far has been billing, which, as many of you will understand over the last term, the only thing that's been fixed at Sewage and Water Board in the last couple of years has been billing. There is legislation that's authored by Representative Stephanie Hilferty that we as a council are supporting and working to resolve that will give us more authority over the direct operation of Sewage and Water Board. We as a council feel the urgency and the need to solve the problems that face Sewage and Water Board, but what we have come to understand is that the board does not feel that sense of urgency to solve problems. I know that in my time in the legislature, I authored 2 bills to do substantial board reorganization. I know that Representative Hilferty has authored numerous bills to try and nip around the edges of trying to make the Sewage and Water Board better. But we have got to a point where if we as a council have to politely ask them to show up to provide accountability and transparency of the public, something is fundamentally broken. And I would certainly encourage everyone to support Representative Hilferty in her efforts, support this council, support the mayor in having something more dramatic and drastic occur at the state level to give direct control and accountability to the New Orleans City Council, to the mayor of the city of New Orleans, to actually force through the change which has for too long stagnated at the board level. When you have the bureaucracy of the Sewage and Water Board running the Sewage and Water Board, you have the inmates running the asylum, and that has to stop. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilmember Harris is recognized.
Thank you, Councilmember Hughes. As we sit here right now, the water main break at Magnolia and Jackson, which happened on March 4th, is still unrepaired. And what I'm getting is a text message right now from Mr. Heyman saying, well, we didn't have the equipment, we ordered the equipment, we had to put resources someplace else, we're going to get to it. And that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for the citizens of Central City. It's unacceptable for the citizens of New Orleans. Meanwhile, there are water leaks all over District B, and I know the rest of our districts. And they sat here, what was it, 2 days ago, and didn't really have a plan or assessment of any of the leaks that our teams have reported to them, many of which have been years, months long. And so I would ask Councilmember Hughes that I be added to this, and I think all of the district council members would like to be added to this.
And the at-larges.
And the at-larges.
And the at-larges. We get the calls too.
Because as much as we beg and plead sewage and water board to do their job, they're not. And so I fully support this resolution, and any oversight that we have over this entity, I think is going to be crucial to ensuring that we don't have these major water breaks and boil water advisory throughout the city. Thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Harris. Councilmember Green is recognized.
I would just also like to add, I invite the public to be proactive in communicating directly with the Sewage and Water Board, which has its own board that meets independently of us, and also coming to these meetings or sharing online your comments relative to the Sewage and Water Board. As a district council office where there are tons of leaks, we hear your concerns. We're not ignoring them, but at the end of the day, we have but so much authority, and we have no authority over the budget. So I do appreciate this measure, but I want to add to it that the members of the public should be involved. You should also contact state officials, state representatives and state senators, in addition to your local council persons. And I remind everyone, as I've reminded before, and for good reason, that the governor set up a task force in 2024, which didn't include any participation by members of the New Orleans City Council. They came up with a set of recommendations that, if those recommendations had been acted upon with money, we might not be seeing all of the problems that we're seeing now. It is not prohibited to send letters to state representatives, senators, and also the governor expressing your concerns regarding this state-operated agency. So I just encourage the public to participate in these public works meetings, but to incorporate the governor, especially based on the task force, into the communications relative to this important agency. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Green. Let me, in closing, publicly thank Justin McCorkle in my office for his hard work on this resolution, and let me apologize to my colleagues. I called Justin at about 10 o'clock last night to move this forward, but we should have asked every council member to co-sponsor this. So, Madam Clerk, I would ask that you add all 7 council members to that. With that, I have moved. Councilmember McCarron has second. Members, please vote your machines. 6 yeas, no nays. Thank you very much.
Are we at ordinances on first reading already? Well, I move that we move to ordinance also, unless I'm missing something.
We're still working on some first reads. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand at ease for the time being. We don't have executive session until 11:30. So we're going to be at ease. I know that there's some housekeeping the council has to do with our communication staff, so we'll do that during this at ease period. Thank you. Don't form out here. Ladies and gentlemen, council members, I need to have a vote right quick. We're coming back from being at ease. At this time, it is 11:35. I will move for us to go into executive session. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Hughes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. 5 yeas, no nays. We're in executive session.